and I can't fuck with snakes. I ain't all the way back from my people, I pray I won't fortune for fame. I'm finna turn up and get they ass a taste. I thought I was global, they screaming my name. I'm everywhere like I'm the Chicago way.
Alright, so getting into something else, right? Also in the interview, right? You said to squash beef with the ops, right? You want to do a song with them, but they got to be cool with you. Listen as many of their dead homies as possible, and they just sit back and take it. So like, do you still feel that same way?
Hell yeah, I never turn that down. The only way I could ever squash you, see, it's too much blood. I lost real blood. See, like that's see me. I'm the type of person. Whether we blood, if I call you my blood, your mama, no mama, we blood. I love you the same way I love my mama kid, and I ain't gonna look at you no different. And if the time occurs and you right, I'm gonna put you over my mama kids because I look at you like blood, and that's just how shit gonna go. So I lost a lot of blood behind this shit. Ain't no way in here I'm gonna go pull a Rico record and stun and go sit here and do a song with the ops and they talking about my dead. No, I'm gonna disrespect y'all, and you ain't gonna say shit about my dead homies, and that's the only way we can ever do a song together and be peaceful. When I can just disrespect y'all, you're not gonna never disrespect me. No, I'm gonna disrespect you, because I'm not a bitch, you a bitch, and you ain't gonna disrespect me and get on the song with me. Nah, we ain't gonna do that. And they gotta pay me for the song. Yeah.
Shit, that's a whole lot of requirements. Shit. Alright, so speaking of like blood, right? So a lot of people be wondering this, and sometimes people don't believe you. So like, can you confirm for the people if like you really FBG Ducks brother?
Bro, Duck is my blood brother. Listen, and it's so weird. If you really know our family, that's my brother and my cousin. Like, and a lot of people don't understand it. Listen, Duck is my brother on his daddy's side.
Okay.
And his daddy is also married to my blood cousin, my first cousin, Talia. And on top of that, even if his daddy was never married to my cousin, we weren't actually real blood. We would have still been this same way because our mamas is best friends. They grew up living in the same house. So it was going like either way it go, it was no way they was gonna stop us from being around each other. Shit was gonna be like this whether we had blood ties or not.
So it would have been the same way.
It was gonna be the same way either way. Whether we had blood ties or not, our mamas was best friends. Literally best friends. They sleeping at each other, I was running away together, all type of shit. It was gonna happen anyway.
Got you. Alright, so speaking of like parents and shit, right? You know, parents, like, how do you feel about like notable Chicago rappers' parents like Duck's mom and Ruga's dad doing interviews and shit? Like, how do you feel about that?
Honestly, I can't say, you know. If that's the way they taking it, and it's an appropriate approach, and that's how they financially gonna provide for themselves, and that's something that they doing, I support it. You know, if that's some legit shit they doing, and it's not for no clout, and it's some shit that you wanna do, and that, I support it. That's my people's, I gotta support it.
Okay. So like, getting back to Duck, right, do you feel like people who say they close to Duck are keeping his name alive? Like, are they doing it the right way? If so, like, what could they do to keep his name, like, alive?
My honest opinion, I don't feel they doing it in the right way, the way they supposed to. And honestly, no, I don't feel people are going 100% hard how they supposed to. Cause shit could be bigger than what it is. But when, I'm gonna just be honest, when you got everybody that's self-centered and they focused on themselves instead of the bigger picture and the family and the generational wealth and the shit that he did to leave the legacy and shit, it'll be bigger. It'll be a lot bigger because the legacy he left. That was one of the biggest artists from Chicago. I don't give a fuck how you put it. That was the biggest artist from Chicago. Without no label or no industry niggas behind him. Selling out. The biggest artist from Chicago. Only artist able to sell out shows in his city still. While he was alive. Only artist. All through the racks selling out shows in his city still. So it was like when you got a lot of people that's only worried about they self, and this is the big thing too. Like, and I'm gonna say this, like, if you do music, I don't give a fuck who it is. Friends, family, grandma, like, you gotta watch people. Money is a big problem and shit like this. when shit like this comes into play, it be money. So a lot of motherfuckers don't want to promote or push this if it ain't no money for them. What's beneficial to me? That's how motherfuckers look at it. Well, Duck gone, so I can't get no money or benefits from him. I supported if Duck was here so he could see that I'm supporting it and going hard. And when Duck was alive, motherfuckers was ready to die behind supporting him. It was niggas I know that was ready to, first of all, it's niggas I know that won't even touch a gun to say they own life. But you know at any given second a motherfucker can pull up and start shooting. And you ain't gonna be out there with no gun to protect your life, but you willing to die to show this man your support to him. And that's real, and that's one thing I respected about One Trey. Because that man gonna let you know, hey, gun what? Ain't you going with Duck by yourself? You know folks ain't took, well shit then when y'all need to ride then, because One Trey ain't touching no gun. He gonna let you know that in the door. And you can feel how the fuck you wanna feel. But One Trey gonna make sure all the videos uploaded on time. One Trey gonna make sure that clothing line together. One Trey gonna make sure he's sitting down meeting with these people. One Trey gonna make sure he on time for these photos. One Trey played his part. Even after Duck died, One Trey played his part. With all that big cloud record shit, all that's One Trey.
That's One Trey.
He played his part. So as far as One Trey and all that shit, and yeah, bro, mama do his thing, but I do feel like with everybody, including One Trey, everybody, this just goes for everybody. I just feel like it could be bigger if everybody start focusing on themselves and trying to benefit from what the fuck he left and just let the legacy continue and worry about the back ends at the end, because that shit gonna always come at the end. Everybody worry about what they can get now instead of looking at the bigger picture. The generational wealth, these kids that's involved, the shit you gonna have to leave when these kids have kids. That's the point of this shit.
Okay, like you just looking at the big picture.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Alright, so like you had dropped a song called Let's Talk Part 2, and that's like a part 2 to Ducks Let's Talk, right?
Yeah.
So what made you like want to make a part 2 to that song when it wasn't originally your song?
Honestly, what the fuck was I doing? I had just bought off house arrest for the kidnapping and shit. I don't know if it was that Shoulda Duck song that I caught a snippet of. One of them songs Duck had just died, I caught a snippet of real quick that they had, and that bitch was just going viral. And I'm like, damn. I'm like, all right. And this is right on Bondi too, so I'm like, damn. And I think this is the video when Dirk was in the studio and all that shit. I can't remember the song. So I go play the song, I hear it out. I liked the lyrics. I'm like, damn, okay. That's what made me respond. I'm like, he decent, but I'm like, he ain't go hard enough. But I'm like, decent lyrics, it was decent enough. Fuck it. Now, I wasn't even in no rush. I don't write, so I didn't write nothing. I just so happened to go to the studio like 3 days later. When I get in the studio, I'm like, I record like 3-4 songs. I'm like, oh yeah, play some beats. Now I had a whole bunch of beats in my email. And then I put a beat up. And just out of nowhere, bro, them rolling up, talking and shit, I zone out. I'm like, I'm ready. They're like, what you talking about? I went in that bitch and ain't asked anybody. I hit that bitch in 2 takes. I did majority of the song in 1 take and finished the rest.
Shit.
Like, and my brother 2 times, free 2 times, man, he sat out there and he's like, man, I told him, every time you make that boy mad, he gonna go ahead and go straight through and blast the whole track. And that's how that song came about. And I was so, and when I blasted, I was just so, I forced the cameraman to pull up. I gave him an extra $200. That cameraman died too. God rest his soul too, he overdosed. I forced him to come. He was asleep in bed, having withdrawals off the purse, couldn't find no purse. I forced him to come for an extra $200. That's how we ended up shooting it in the studio.
Damn, okay.
And they tried to get the video took down. They called the studio man because they knew who he was. They actually got us kicked out of that studio room for a little bit. We had to pay the managers some money and shit like that. I was having to pay for extra hours. I was paying for the cheapest